Texas. This is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Jose Alonso.
And I'm Hannah Gonzalez. We begin with two major developments in the Astroworld concert. Tonight, a Texas family mourns after losing their loved one as she becomes the ninth victim in the Astroworld catastrophe.
22-year-old Bardi Shahani was critically injured at the Astroworld Festival in Houston last Wednesday.
Shahani's family says that she was studying electronic systems engineering at Texas A&M University and was set to graduate next spring. And tonight, we're learning even more about what happened before the Astroworld Festival began.
Security guard Darius Williams quit due to safety concerns. He spoke out on CNN's New Day Thursday. Williams said that he did not feel comfortable having a lack of training and reading about fans planning to storm the gate online the night before.
He shared that guards and festival staff were not given much instruction on their roles or duties, despite having an orientation the day before Astroworld Festival began.
And with the heightened importance on crowd safety, CNN's Mandy Gaither spotlights on what to look out for in the event of a crowd surge.
Now I'm worried about my two daughters and my wife.
The investigation continues into the tragedy at Houston's Astroworld Festival.
There was not even a centimeter you could fit between the person next to you.
Those who attended the concert describe a horrific scene, people being trampled.
There was just too many people there, and it was overcrowded. The way the barricades were set up had people trapped in, and it was a death trap.
Crowd safety experts like me and others have seen this situation historically over decades, causing many deaths to young people in the front of the stage.
Paul Wertheimer is founder of a concert safety consulting firm. He says the area closest to the stage is most dangerous for standing. Experts say crowd density can be calculated by the number of people per square meter. While it all depends on the size of the people, generally things get concerning once you reach 5 people per square meter.
People in the crowd have to have enough room that they can easily leave the festival seating crowd under reasonable conditions.
To stay safe in a crowd, experts say to be aware of your surroundings. And if people are close enough to bump up against you, it may be time to get out of that area.
You have to reduce density before people begin to get crushed.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Jose, I don't know about you, but last night that thunderstorm knocked out my power. I really hope tonight's not the same.
Well, Hannah, let's kick it over to our weather anchor, Lexi Flores, and find out. Lexi?
Thanks, Jose. Now, I know last night's weather was a bit alarming, but we aren't expected to see any of that tonight. So let's take a first look. It's currently 67 degrees out with a wind speed of 8 miles per hour, and we are experiencing sunny conditions. Going into tonight's conditions, it's going to drop down and be a bit cooler at 46 degrees with a wind speed of 10 miles per hour, and we are having a clear but chilly night. Going into tomorrow's conditions, it's going to feel very similar as the temperatures were today at 66 degrees with a wind speed of 15 miles per hour. Now tomorrow is also our UNT homecoming bonfire, and it's set to begin at 8 p.m. Now around that time, it's going to be about 52 degrees out, so it's going to be the perfect temperature for a bonfire. So if you're heading out to the bonfire, make sure to grab a nice thin jacket with you. And following that, Saturday is our homecoming game, and those temperatures are expected to be around 62 degrees at 3 p.m. as that's when the game is set to begin. Now that's all I have for our first look. Stay tuned later on in the show for more weather updates. Back to you guys at the desk.
Veterans Day, originally known as Armistice Day, was set to honor those who served in World War I. Nearly a century later, we view this day through the eyes of 5 veterans. Let's take a look.
Meaning of veteran to me is I did my part.
America was built on the idea of freedom and equality, and this idea has set many Americans off to serve their country, and we can recognize them on November 11th, which marks the holiday of Veterans Day. I had the chance to sit down with veterans from all parts of the U.S. to understand the importance of this day.
It's a good way to try and remember as a country that these people did make a big sacrifice for us.
And it's the word sacrifice that these veterans have in common when describing the hardships their family had to face when serving their country.
I'd say a lot of times it's even more difficult for the family members more so than the actual veteran or the military person who's in at the time, because they're doing what they've trained to do and what they want to do and what they love to do a lot of times.
However, one wife states that holding the household together was her way of supporting her husband at war.
Supporting him here means that he will be able to do his job wherever he's at. And without that support, I don't think it's as easy.
And it's the support of these loved ones that helps them get through their time away, especially when they come into close encounters with death.
On March 6, 2007, I was hit by a suicide vehicle bomber. I got blown out of the vehicle. And I think the greatest achievement was that no one in our vehicle died. I was by far the most wounded, but I was still able to walk away from it.
While Veterans Day is a day to honor the living, many of these veterans have to deal with the loss of those who didn't return home alongside them.
Stood next to some of the finest people who's ever walked the face of the earth, in my opinion, and I miss them dearly every day, whether they're still walking with us or not.
Another veteran shares his take on a new generation of sacrifice.
Some young men who were just out of high school, when they first went overseas, those young kids are the ones that I wonder, that I feel the worst for, because they gave it all.
As of this year, there are over 1.3 million active duty personnel nationwide and over 170,000 active duty military personnel across the globe.
And honoring all the service men and women around the world, President Biden placed a memorial wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Arlington National Cemetery.
as homecoming week gears up for the big finale, the homecoming game. Let's take a look at how UNT has made a fun experience for so many Mean Green. ntTV's Armando Berry has the story.
It's been a year since UNT has celebrated its annual homecoming week. As UNT has returned to its new normal as a university, so has the anticipation for the Mean Green's annual celebration.
I think everybody's already really excited, and they're going to be going out, participating in all of the activities and trying to have as much fun as they can.
This year's festivities will offer the UNT community's newest members a sense of homecoming.
I do think it's a good thing that they brought it back, so like the sophomores and like the incoming freshmen this year got the chance to experience it, because whenever I experienced it freshman year, it was pretty fun.
Wednesday's Yell Like Hell event co-host Efron Jeanette relayed the significance of homecoming for the UNT student experience.
COVID took so much from a lot of different people. It took away our sense of intimacy, and now that we're getting back to regular, people can find a sense of family, a sense of, yo, I belong here, UNT. I like UNT. There's something for me, there's something for them, there's something for everybody to do.
After the week of festivities, homecoming wraps up Saturday when the Mean Green take on UTEP at Apogee Stadium. With ntTV News, I'm Armando Berry.
Even if football isn't your thing, there are some other fun activities to attend.
That's right, Jose. ntTV's reporter Kayla Hull has more on another school event to get excited about. Kayla.
Thanks, guys. Right now, I'm live at Apogee Stadium, where tomorrow, for the first time since the pandemic, a huge bonfire will take place to honor the Saturday night homecoming game. The bonfire dates back over 50 years and is the biggest man-made bonfire in Texas. Since 1960, the fire has been built by our very own spirit organization, the Talons. The Talons spend 168 hours guarding the bonfire site to ensure that nothing happens to the stack. The homecoming bonfire will feature fireworks and a live DJ. So if you're in the school spirit mood, come by tomorrow night at 8 p.m. For now, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kayla. Well, besides homecoming, it's also the anniversary of a very important part of our campus, Willis Library. For over 50 years, it's been a symbol of learning for all of us. ntTV's Michaela Goose is at Willis and has more. Michaela?
That's right, guys. Thank you so much. Right now, I am standing in Willis's Library, which is celebrating its 50th birthday. Now, some people will say this is just a library, but it is an integral part of the UNT community.
I come here all the time to get my homework done, and so it's a really good place to crack down and focus on what I need to get done, or to just pass the time and pretend I'm doing my homework. Either way, I do spend a lot of time here.
But it's a lot different than the Union, where it's more loud and distracting, and so here we can all be in this big group and kind of get our work done, and especially now during finals are coming up, and I have 3 research papers that I need to work on.
That's right, guys. And another thing that most people don't know is when this library was first built, the architect specifically made it so every floor had a different brightly colored pattern, from the brightly colored fuchsia walls to the fuchsia carpets and the fuchsia furniture. Now, the floors are all distinguished by individual levels of loudness, with the first floor being the loudest, second floor being a little bit quieter for smaller group sizes, and the first floor being perfect for when you have to cram for that test and need absolutely no distractions. Now, today, Willis still stands as a place for students across the UNT community to congregate, hang out, and, of course, study. That's all I have here from Willis. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Michaela. Jose, this past week has been a bit warmer than usual.
That's right, Hannah. I've noticed the sun has been unusually in my eyes more than it should be. Lexi, what can you tell us about this weekend's forecast?
Thanks, Jose. Now we are seeing warmer temperatures and those aren't really going away, but I'll get back to that in our 7-day forecast. But first, let's take a look at our North Texas area. We all seem to be sitting in those general 60s and going into the upper 60s as well. We have both Dallas and Fort Worth at 65 degrees, and it's a little bit warmer down in Stephenville at 67. Taking a look across the state, we all seem to be sitting in those 60s, and we even have some cities reaching the 70s, down in Houston at 73, Austin's at 74, and it's a little bit cooler up in Amarillo at 62 degrees. Taking a look at our 7-day forecast, we do see a bright and sunny week ahead of us. We do see these temperatures rising going into next week, reaching 77, and those lower temperatures are going to be a bit cooler this weekend, but they are going to get warmer going into next week. Now, with these nice, bright, sunny days out for this weekend and following next week, this is the perfect weekend to celebrate all of those homecoming festivities here at UNT. That's all I have for weather tonight. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Lexi. With homecoming week back in session, it just feels like a great night to go out and have some fun.
That's right, Jose, and I think UNT has us covered. Our reporter Armando Berry is live at a homecoming event. Armando.
Thanks, Hannah and Jose. I'm at Funky Fest here at the Union South Lawn. This UPC event is going on from 5 to 10 p.m. So you still have a couple more hours to come out and have a good time. Funky Fest is throwing it back to the 70s tonight and will include some silent disco, some karaoke, and lots of games. Beside me now is Gracie Davis, who's the UPC president. Gracie, what all went into creating Funky Fest tonight?
Our vice president of campus engagement put so much work into this, just weeks and weeks of planning and booking vendors, and now each one of our coordinators within UPC is hosting an event tonight. So it's really so many moving and working pieces just to make this even happen.
Absolutely. It's been a year since we've had homecoming events like this. How nice is it to have it back?
It's so nice just to have all these people here getting to witness this and experience it, since last year was just so dead on campus, and a lot of people haven't ever gotten to actually have an experience with homecoming. So it's really nice to have people coming here, and for UPC to get to partner with Homecoming Crew has been really nice.
Definitely. Thanks for taking time to talk to me. We're going to keep on grooving, but for now, let's send it back to Hannah and Jose in the studio.
Thanks, Armando. We'll check in with you later for more. When we come back, we'll have updates on vaccinations in Denton.
An entrepreneur takes pizza to a whole new level. You're going to want to stick around for this.
Usually when we think of cooking, we think of eating, but Chef Bryant Terry uses cooking to teach about history, culture, and the people who create the food. Terry will be on our campus next Tuesday evening with a lecture entitled Food Justice, Food Politics, Poverty, Public Health, and the Environment. Bryant's cookbook was named one of the best vegan cookbooks written in the past 25 years, and he is a winner of the James Beard Leadership Award. The lecture is in the Union and begins at 7 p.m. next Tuesday. Denton County Public Health is officially administering COVID vaccines to children to move comes after Pfizer's coronavirus shot was approved by the FDA last week. Now, children as young as 5 are eligible for the shot, which many parents say is a sigh of relief. DCPH ordered more than 8,000 new Pfizer shots, which come in different dosages for children. Now, this demographic will have more than masks and school distancing to protect themselves. Now, what to do pizza, skateboards, and epoxy resin has in common? Well, one German man has combined some of his favorite passions for a lucrative and tasty business.
One artist's pie-in-the-sky idea for designing skateboards from pizza seems destined to deliver him to viral stardom. For pizzeria owner Saman Koshbari, the idea wasn't all that cheesy.
I skateboard for like 18 years now. So I was like, pizza, skateboard, pizza, skateboard.
Here's the recipe. He makes the pizza, then coats it with an epoxy resin in a mold, allowing it to harden over 10 days. Add some wheels and a polish, and voila, a mozzarella roller. The board is just one of many culinary creations in Coach Bari's kitchen, but for skaters hungry for a taste of his signature item, this shredded cheese shredder will set you back some cheddar, just over $800. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
My current obsession is pizza, so that definitely made me hungry.
Well, Hannah, my current fave is UNT's winning streak. So on that note, let's hand it over to our sports anchor, Zach Fox.
Hannah, although my love for pizza is so large, Jose, I gotta agree with you more because this UNT team is pretty sweet. We'll get reactions from Saturday's win after the break. The battle to hoist a championship trophy at AT&T Stadium in December for high school football begins tonight as the 2021 UIL playoff showcasing some star teams look to prove themselves worthy. Now let's take a look at some of the top games around North Texas. Denton Ryan, they'll duel White ISD tonight at 7. Melissa, you might not have heard of the Cardinals until now, but they beat #1 Argyle just a few weeks ago, 21-0. Melissa, they're going to host North Dallas tonight at 7. Now tomorrow, 9-1 Denton Guyer will battle Flower Mound at 7, as will South Lake Carroll and Crowley. Now remember, South Lake Carroll, they have a new quarterback, Caden Anderson, taking the reins after Quinn Ewers will not play his senior year and head to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Finally, Argyle looks to get back-to-back state titles as they will host Wilmer Hutchins tomorrow at 7:30. Fireworks left and right, and luckily this is only just the beginning. UNT football on a 2-game win streak, but are coming off a dominating 38-14 victory with 38 unanswered points at Southern Miss Saturday. Now here's what head coach Seth Luttrell and players had to say about the win.
It's like anything, the more confidence, the more plays you make together, the more confidence you build, more comfortable you get within the system. Good things start to happen.
It feels really good, to finally get those wins that we've been working so hard for, and we just got to reset though and not, linger on them so much and just get focused on the guys this week.
The mojo of the team, two back-to-back wins feels good. I think we were playing good ball even before the wins. Just things kind of weren't going our way, kind of beating ourselves a little bit. So I feel like we've had, obviously with these wins, good momentum, but we've really had it, weeks prior to these 2 wins. And, we got a great group of guys that are practicing hard every single day, listening to the coaches. And I think it's, it's showing up on Saturday.
Now UNT, they're going to look for the trifecta Saturday as they host the 6-3 UTEP Miners for homecoming at 3. Now, earlier today, Dallas Cowboys defensive end Randy Gregory was placed on the injury reserve with a calf injury he suffered in practice. Now, according to Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy, Gregory will miss multiple weeks. Not the best timing, as Matt Ryan, Patrick Mahomes, and Derek Carr, they're the next three quarterbacks to face in that order. So the load will be heavier on the shoulders of rookie Micah Parsons, who is tied with Gregory in sacks with 5 and leads the team with 20 tackles. Cowboys will host the Atlanta Falcons Sunday at noon. And hopefully the boys can forget about the dismantling performance last Sunday against the Broncos, but only time will tell. Hannah and Jose, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. Being a senior, I'm really going to miss having fun at the UNT homecoming.
Me too, Hannah. Let's check in with our reporter Armando Berry, who is still having fun at the Funky Fest. Armando?
Thanks for checking back in with me, Hannah and Jose. I'm still here at the Funky Fest having a good time. Right now, I'm with Maria Lawson, who's a senior at UNT. Maria, how have things been going so far?
Things have been going so well here at Funky Fest. There's so many different events going on throughout the Union. We have silent disco out here. There's also a 360 photo booth. Inside, there's all sorts of crafts. They'll be doing live band karaoke coming up soon. There's lots of different fun things, and it's all going so smoothly. So I'm really happy to be here.
Absolutely. What other homecoming events are you looking forward to this week?
I'm super excited for the bonfire happening tomorrow. There's going to be a spirit march starting at Fraternity Row and then walking over to the bonfire. And the bonfire is one of the biggest events at UNT. So I'm really excited to celebrate our UNT spirit and tradition with all of our fellow students.
That sounds great. Thanks for taking time to talk to me. That's all I have from the Funky Fest. Let's send it back to Hannah and Jose in the studio.
Thanks, Armando. Jose, what events are you going to go to for homecoming?
I really want to go to the bonfire, but unfortunately, I think I might be out of town.
Well, I'll be there, so I'll definitely get some pictures for you to see later. But on that note, thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.